For a great many of your MPs, it's about your performance. They talk about a chaotic performance. They say that you're simply incompetent as a leader.
How unkind of them. I try to run an efficient organisation, obviously. I'm trying to develop policy at the same time, and I'm trying to ensure that our party members and our party supporters are able to be fully involved and their views very well represented.
Is it too much for you?
No, of course not. I'm doing the job.
I mean, I spend quite a lot of time talking to people in what would be regarded as Labour heartlands. And they have said to me in recent months, your particular brand of socialism does not speak to them. So one pointed out on the day Angela Eagle launched her leadership challenge, Labour in crisis, you were at the Cuba Solidarity campaign meeting. They say that doesn't speak to them, but the message that has spoken to them loud and clear, for example, comes from UKIP or from a Leave campaign run by two Conservative MPs that says to them, we will limit immigration, for example.
And none of that, what UKIP say, is actually going to build any house, build any school, give any young person a job. What will do that is a fairer economic system. What will do that is investment. What will do that, all they're doing is playing on the politics of prejudice and fear.
It is working, many people would argue, because Labour are not offering a compatible message. So, for example, if we move ahead to Brexit, as it looks as though we will, what would your policy on immigration be?
The policy on Brexit will be that we want access to the European market. The policy on Brexit will be to end the undercutting of wages by signing the Posting of Workers Directive in the meantime while we're still in the European Union, which would ensure you didn't have this appalling importing of people deliberately to undercut existing wage rates and existing conditions. And so I think we have to end the undercutting, end the exploitation, and stop the blame culture.
People want less immigration. They have just voted for that in huge numbers. Many of them Labour Party supporters. They want less immigration.
I would urge people to think carefully about the numbers of people that work in our education system and our health service.
But you're not listening to
wait a minute,
them.
I am listening, if you'd let me finish. 50,000 European nationals work in our NHS and keep it going. 2 million British people live and work in other parts of Europe. If we close the door, what's going to happen to those 2 million people? What's going to happen to the services that we have in this country? Isn't it better that instead of the discussion that you're advancing and UKIP are advancing, that we actually invest in housing?
When allegations about bullying in the Conservative Party emerged, rightly, you said it was appalling and said there should be an inquiry. At what point would you launch an inquiry into allegations of bullying and intimidation and misogyny in your own party?
I launched the Shami Chakrabarti inquiry into allegations of anti-Semitism and racism within the party.
And there are many questions about that today with talk that she may
can I finish,
Labour
please?
period.
Can I finish the answer? She produced a very substantial, very effective report which pointed out, yes, there were some cases of it, bullying in any form, cyberbullying, online bullying, Twitter, Facebook, physical abuse is obviously totally and absolutely wrong, and I've made that abundantly clear, and I've set out a code of conduct of how this leadership election should be conducted.
Very briefly, I mean, at that very meeting you had a Labour woman MP walk out in tears because she felt intimidated. You've had another Labour woman crying, talking about intimidation at the NEC. Is there not a case for
there was no
inquiry?
There was no intimidation at the NEC. I was at that NEC meeting, and we made it very clear, I made it very clear there that no heavy language should be used and no abuse should be undertaken, and it isn't and it won't be.
If you win again, how do you see the party going forward? If you've got 80% of your MPs who don't back you, do you expect them to come on board?
I will reach out to all those MPs and say to them, look, we represent a very large party. We represent the hopes and aspirations of a lot of people in how we can do things differently in this country.
And if you reach out and they don't reach back, what happens to the party?
I'm sure some of them will reach back and maybe others will take a little longer to come on board. But yes,
Is
of
a
course.
split a price worth paying?
No, there's not going to be any split in the party. We're going forward as a party. Listen, we've got our biggest membership ever. Isn't that something to be pleased about?
Jeremy Corbyn, thank you very much.